And there we go. We're ready to rock and roll. Garth Sampson, welcome.
Evening, Gino, and thanks for the fantastic intro.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, Garth. We've got our other guests in the hanging out, drinking some wine here in the studio. I hope have you got a little bit to drink there as well? I won't ask you about water.
Yeah, plenty of water.
Oh, good. Have you got the best quality water? Is that it?
Do you have to have it with scotch?
You know. Oh man, Garth. I was excited because there's rain. There was rain today. What's going on? Is there anything in the catchment areas? Is there any little hope?
Every time I see a rain forecast, I'm too scared to put it out on social media, just for the fear that we'll get it wrong. But it came up to the plate a bit today. We were expecting about 5 mils, and it upped it to about 8 mils. But by the time I left this afternoon, it was only about 2-3 mils.
So even it tells us, it gives us that little bit of like, oh, it's nearly going to happen, and then it disappears. I mean, what does that mean for the dam levels? I mean, are they going to get any runoff?
Well, last month, towards the end of the month, we had some nice rains over the catchment area, about between 25 and 50 mils. But let's call it over a wide area, 30 to 35. Places like Krakeelhoek had fantastic figures of around 200 mils. But one must understand a catchment is a large area. It's like taking a parking lot and throwing a big bucket of water into one corner and then just spraying it lightly with a hose pipe on the rest of the area. You're not going to get much water running off. But yes, it was quite interesting. I went back on my figures and I saw that on this weekend that's passed, the Churchill was supposed to be empty. And yes. And then I went but because remember we got that rain last month, and I went to the website, and the Churchill actually increased from 8.5% to this morning 17.14%. It almost doubled. So we were going to be on 0 days at the Churchill, and it's actually increased us up to 136 days till it runs out. Yes. We shouted wow, but
wow,
yes, but we're still consuming 249 megaliters a day. We want to get to that magical figure of 230 megaliters a day. And the public will do very well to watch the Nelson Mandela Bay website. They've got a special drought monitoring section on there run by a lady called Didi, and she's doing a fantastic job with the site, and all the information on dam levels and usages and leaks that have been fixed are all there. So yes, we've got a bit of reprieve, and we've just got to use this break now until the next rains come.
Okay. And then I think while we're busy here, I've got some of your slides that you've sent through to me, Garth. I don't know if you want to discuss some of that before we hit the last few questions that I've got here.
Yes, I'd like everybody to try and just remember this. Once you carry your own water, you'll never learn the value of every drop. So in this time, we must remember that, and I'd like everybody to put that on their email and Facebook page.
Yes, it is a good one. It's true, and it's so true. You don't until you've carried it yourself, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so now tell us about this now, because there's the figures have just come onto the available now recently, have they not?
Yeah, well, actually, this morning I sat there and I thought, should I open it? Should I disappoint my day? I left it for half an hour, and my day's been ruined.
Oh, dear.
I don't want to see brown. I don't want to see that brown. Basically, the brown is below normal. And there's 3 maps there, June, July, August, September, August, September, October, and September, October, November. So in other words, it moves it on 1 month at a time. And as you can see, if we go from July to September, our average for the bay should be, for the total for the 3 months, 178 bulls. And then we should peak August, September, October. And that is the next chance of our good cut-off low that comes through. If it does come through, but that is the best time of the year that it occurs. And then it starts decreasing September, October, November. You can see 185 goes down to 176. And then when we get December, January, February, it even goes down worse. So this is telling us it hasn't got much hope for that August, September rainfall, when we usually get statistically good rainfall. So I'm actually very disappointed. And this is a warning to the public. Let's try and save that 136 days and make it last a bit longer.
Yeah, gee whiz, man. We really need to. I've got there's some advertising there for you as well. Your sponsors.
My sponsors. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. One of the three phoned me today and said an interesting thing. And everybody's quick to point fingers at business people, but tank suppliers are actually keeping their prices down until the end of July, just so as many people can get tanks as possible. Because this is especially in the Eastern Cape. So yes, they are coming to the party, everybody, because I think a lot of people, it's not about making money anymore. It's about people feeling for us in the Eastern Cape,
and helping, and that's great. So kudos to them. That's fantastic if they're keeping trying to keep the prices down. I'm sure everybody's looking for tanks at the moment. So it's the perfect time for people to be preyed upon.
There's a lot of unscrupulous businesses out there that are what they call opportunist entrepreneurs. But the big boys, they really come into the party and really trying to help the public out here.
No, I'm very glad to hear that. All right, well, we've got 2 more questions to go for you, Garth. So the outlook. How many days are we looking at now? You said about 100 and something from Churchill.
According to the website of the Mandela Metro, 136 days before you can't extract from the Churchill anymore. And that is basically our western side. There's 100 suburbs that will run out that aren't provided for by Nooit Gedacht.
Yeah, and I mean,
your area.
I wanted to know as well is that there's so many boreholes going down as well. Our aquifers, are they not going to be drained as well? Or, I mean, how much water is there? Is it unlimited?
Well, I'm not a professional as far as that goes, but
you're the winter guy.
I worry about the rain above ground, not below ground. But logic dictates that it's not unlimited resource. It's got to be replenished, and I know for a fact that areas close to the sea, if it gets too low, the seawater seeps in, and then the boreholes are useless.
Get a bit salty then.
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen. The other thing is that cloud seeding. Tell me about this story. I've seen it splashed along the net here and there. What is this cloud seeding all about?
Well, let's firstly start off. You cannot make rain. Full stop. But you can seed clouds. And for years, from the early 80s, there's a place called Bethlehem, not in Israel, but in the Free State.
The Vrystaat,
And in Vrystaat. And a man by the name of Dr. Tablanche, he ran the program for many years in Bethlehem, and they got very successful with cloud seeding. And actually the technology has been used throughout the world. And one place is the United Arab Emirates that uses a lot of the technology. And he was represented very well on the World Meteorological Organization. But basically how it works is you need something to make something. And a well-developing cumulus cloud is then seeded to make it with hygroscopic particles. It might be silver nitrate, dry ice, smoke flares, and that is to promote the adhesion of moisture to these particles, to make them heavier and to rain, and ultimately to get that cloud to develop into a cumulonimbus cloud, which is more commonly known as a thundercloud.
Yes,
and everybody asks the question, why don't we do it here and get rain to the dams? Unfortunately, we do not get thunderstorms here very often. You know that for a fact. When I was in the army, they always teased us people from the Cape when we saw thunderstorms in the Transvaal. Julle Capies verstaan nie van hierdie goedie. And we very seldom get it down here. So you can't see something that's not there. We get stratiform clouds that are 100% humidity or saturation. So in places like Bethlehem, Limpopo, the former Transkei, KwaZulu-Natal, great. It can be done there. But unfortunately, it can't be done in this region. And there are so many people coming with unscrupulous ideas, quantum energy generators, and this harp that uses radio waves to alter weather. I've heard them all, but bottom line is you need a hell of a lot of energy to make a cold front move 10 meters left or right.
Of course.
So the rainfall enhancement has always been there. South Africa Weather Bureau at that time and South African Weather Service were world leaders in this development, but unfortunately, to financial constraints, funds
of
dried
course.
up eventually.
Oh, it's easy. I suppose easy in Dubai when you've got unlimited cash.
Yes.
Okay, now, Garth, just finally, any good news? What can you give us good news-wise? Give us some hope here.
Yes. Well, I was thinking, maybe if you go get a stake and put the weather guru on the stake and burn him, maybe the rain will come. or maybe if Gino makes a rain song.
I think we'll do. I'll make a rain song.
You write the lyrics.
You write the lyrics. I'll do the song. We'll
do that.
Make some rain. And if anybody wants to put some lyrics online for me, we'll try and include them as well. What the hell?
That's the only thing that's going to help now.
Thank you, Garth Sampson. You are weather guru. Thank you so much for coming in for the studio and telling us that. At least we got a little bit of hope. We'll do a rain song for you.
Thanks, Gino, and have a great evening.